Application of AC bridges. Let's see the general principle of AC bridges. AC bridges consist of a source, balance detector and 4 arms. In AC bridges, all the 4 arms consist of impedance. The AC bridges are formed by replacing the DC battery with an AC source and galvanometer by a suitable detector. AC bridges are useful to find out inductance, capacitance, storage factor, dissipation factor, etc. A typical AC bridge is shown in figure 2.1. Figure 2.1 shows a typical AC bridge network. Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4 are the impedances of its arms. This network is called the Wheatstone's bridge network. The bridge is said to be balanced when the current ID or the voltage shown by the detector D as seen in figure 2.1 is 0. Under this situation, from Kirchhoff's current law and Ohm's law, we can write I1 is equal to I2 is equal to E divided by Z1 plus Z2. I3 is equal to I4 is equal to E divided by Z3 plus Z4. Under balance, there is no current flowing between the nodes B and D because ID is equal to 0. This means voltage across Z1 is equal to voltage across Z3. That is I1 Z1 is equal to I3 Z3. This implies E Z1 divided by Z1 plus Z2 is equal to E divided by Z3 plus Z4 into Z3. Therefore, Z1 by Z1 plus Z2 is equal to Z3 divided by Z3 plus Z4. Or we get Z1 by Z2 is equal to Z3 by Z4. Thus, equation 3 is the basic equation that balances a bridge network. Typical Maxwell's bridge network is shown in figure 2.2. In this network, D is a current or voltage detector like a sensitive galvanometer of a voltmeter. Maxwell's bridge is normally used to determine inductance or capacitance. Figure 2.2 shows a typical Maxwell's bridge network. Let omega be the angular frequency of the AC source used to drive the bridge. Let Z1, Z2, Z3 and Z4 be the impedance of the 4 arms of the bridge as shown in figure 2.2. In the experiment, usually DC balance is achieved by varying R4 by keeping the resistances in the other 3 arms fixed. In the next stage, DC source is replaced by an AC source and either L or C or both L and C are varied to achieve balancing condition. The bridge is said to be balanced if Z1 by Z2 is equal to Z3 by Z4 or R1 plus j omega L divided by R2 is equal to R3 divided by 1 divided by R4 plus j omega C whole to the power minus 1. Or we get R1 by R2 plus j omega L by R2 is equal to R3 by R4 plus j times R3 omega C. Equating the real and complex coefficients on both the sides of this equation, we obtain R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4 and L by R2 is equal to R3 times C. Therefore, R1 R4 is equal to R2 R3 and hence we get inductance L is equal to R2 R3 times C. Anderson's bridge. A typical Anderson's bridge is shown in figure 2.3. This is a modified form of Maxwell's LC bridge and is normally used to determine the self-inductance of an inductor fairly accurately. This method is independent of the frequency AC used in the experiment. Under balanced condition, the current, that is both AC and DC, ID in the detector DMM is 0. Figure 2.3 shows a typical Anderson's bridge network. Usually in the experiment, the value of R is adjusted to find the AC balance condition. In the experiment, the bridge is balanced for both DC and AC sources. For DC, the bridge is balanced by varying one of the resistors in the four arms of the bridge, keeping L, C fixed and with R is equal to 0. Afterwards, keeping the bridge balanced for DC, the source is changed to AC and the bridge is again balanced by varying R alone. Under this condition, the bridge is said to be double balanced. Let I1, I3, I2 be the currents in the four arms carrying resistances R1, R2 and R3 and R4 respectively, as shown in figure 2.3. Let L and RL be the inductance and DC resistance of the inductor and C be the capacitance of the capacitor carrying a current I included in the bridge. Under DC balance, we keep R is equal to 0, C is open circuited and hence the bridge behaves practically as a Wheatstone's bridge network. Now the resistance of one of the arms is adjusted for AC balance. Applying KCL at the node B, we have I3 is equal to I1 plus I. Applying KVL to the loop ABFA, we have I1 R1 minus 1 over C integral I dt minus Ri is equal to 0. Therefore, I1 is equal to 1 divided by R1C integral I dt plus R by R1 times I. Applying KVL to the loop AFEA, we have 1 over C integral I dt is equal to R3 I2. That is, no current flows through D. Therefore, I2 is equal to 1 divided by R3C integral I dt. Applying KVL to the loop EBDE, we have IR plus I3R2 is equal to I2R4 plus R times di2 by dt. From equation 6 and 7, we have I3 is equal to 1 divided by R1C integral I dt plus R divided by R1 times I plus I. Using equation 10 and equation 8 in equation 9, we have IR plus 1 over R1C integral I dt plus R divided by R1 times I plus I times R2 is equal to 1 divided by R3 times C integral I dt times R4 plus L d by dt times 1 divided by R3C integral I dt. This implies IR plus R2 divided by R1C integral I dt plus R2 divided by R1 times Ri plus R2 times I is equal to R4 divided by R3C integral I dt plus L divided by R3C times I. But for DC balance, we must have R4 by R3 is equal to R2 by R1. Hence, the above equation reduces to IR plus R2 by R1 times Ri plus R2 times I is equal to L divided by R3 times C into I. Therefore, R plus R2 divided by R1R plus R2 is equal to L divided by R3 times C. Therefore, we obtain inductance L included in the circuit is equal to C times R into R3 plus R2 into R3 into R divided by R1 plus R2 times R3. Again, from DC balance condition, we have R4 by R3 is equal to R2 by R1, or R2 times R3 divided by R1 is equal to R4. Therefore, the above equation further simplifies to L is equal to C times R into R3 plus R4 times R plus R2 into R3, or L is equal to C times within the bracket R3 plus R4 times R plus R2 into R3. Thank you.